Hang on a second. It should be good.
All right,
We'll
thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Hi there, backseaters. I don't know if I'm live yet, but I think I am because we're audibling right now. I am live. Good. So I'll give it a minute, and this is Undersheriff Mike Martin. I'm filling in because the CAT team has been on the prowl and just got done capturing a couple of carjacking suspects, and there's still one on the loose over here in St. Paul, and we are currently working with the St. Paul PD to get them in custody, and the K9 searching the area, and the CAT team's out there too, so they're tied up, so they couldn't go live. So I'm out here now at the scene, and I just kind of want to give you a little overview of what's going on, but I'll wait just a second to see if some more folks get the notice and join. But it's a nice day, 74 degrees and cloudy here in the city of St. Paul, a nice fall day. And we're out doing police work, and again, I'm about to tell you about, kind of what we're out on. If you can see in the distance, the officers, CAT team officers, St. Paul PD are with K9, searching through this small industrial area, looking for a last suspect that fled. So about an hour ago now, we were in the office. We were discussing a recent auto theft that had been involved in some other things, a blue Hyundai, and we were trying to figure out the tracking on that blue Hyundai, if we could track it. And while we were in the office strategizing,
Hey, Sarge, do you need your cuffs now, or you want me to just leave?
we got a call that the car had just been involved in a crash. The two cars were speeding down I-94 and crashed at I-94 in Lexington. One of them was the blue Hyundai that we had been trying to track, and the other was a Maserati. Come to find out that about 15 minutes prior to the crash, that Maserati had been taken in a carjacking in the city of Minneapolis and had fled eastbound on 94. Two suspects had taken that car at gunpoint. There were actually 4 suspects total. 2 had guns and had carjacked the lady in the Maserati, and then those 2 cars were running in tandem coming over to St. Paul and crashed in this area. They fled into this small industrial area on foot. We responded along with St. Paul PD and set up a perimeter, and while searching that perimeter, 2 suspects were seen by 3 suspects were seen by CAT team members. They were able to take 2 into custody. 1 more fled, and we are currently looking for that one. But this is a case where the communication between the 2 cities and between Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the sheriff's office helped us to get right on top of this, set up a perimeter, and right now we have 2 individuals in custody, 1 adult and 1 juvenile. Both appear to be residents of Minneapolis, and have prior gun histories. So the CAT team, along with St. Paul, PD officers and K9 are continuing to search inside the perimeter here, trying to locate the suspect that got away. So those guys are tied up. So the sheriff was out here, and I was out here, and the sheriff asked me if I would go live for a little while to cover. I don't know if these guys will be able to come back, or if the and go live at all, but they are pretty busy right now. They got to take these arrestees down and book them. They'll have reports to do. And I'm in a position where I could go back into service. So for those of you who don't know, this is Undersheriff Mike Martin from the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. You're actually live with us out Central Time. It's 4 o'clock, 1600 hours on September. What's the date today? My watch says it's the 27th. So, and we are out in the West District of St. Paul, searching for these carjacking suspects. Hi there. Yep, you're good. Yeah, we just had some suspects that fled in here. We got them in custody, and they're looking for one that ran away.
All right.
So,
they weren't breaking into cars or anything?
No.
Okay, they just ran in.
Yeah. So I was a postal employee, just checking if it was safe out here. I'm gonna let the guys know that I'm going live. I'm live right now, just so you know, with the backseaters. Anything you want to add? I told them all the pertinent info. St. Paul's finest are out here.
Well, I'm pretty stoked with that result, with what kind of time delay we were working with to get 2 out of 4.
That's pretty good.
And this is just hidey hole heaven. They could be hiding in any nook and cranny you can find in here. So
Yeah, this is not the easiest place to search.
Lots of areas to hide.
Yeah, and kind of hazardous too. So, but good work. I think Pat's transporting down, and
Is he?
one of them.
Are we holding for Minneapolis or anything
I
like that?
think we're just holding them for Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, and then St. Paul's got some other charges, they said.
Perfect.
So
Yeah, I think they just did a burglary out in the
yeah,
west.
I think we just are helping transport because they're already in our cars. So, good job. I'm gonna
Thanks.
go out
it was fun.
All
Yeah.
right, we'll be out.
and
we'll
see
be
what
out with
else. Talk to you later. What's going on? St. Paul's finest out here. I won't show you because you guys are probably, super undercover. Yeah.
Doug, deep undercover.
Well, you'd think a K9 could find that article.
Doug, deep undercover.
So did you? So the St. Paul guys, I was teasing them about being undercover, which they're in uniform, so they're not really undercover. But one of them said he lost a car key. So if you find a car key laying around, just return it to St. Paul PD. I don't think anyone's going to back here, though. Well, nothing like excitement. The best part is stuff like this happens. There's a perimeter set up. There's cops everywhere. There's canines, officers walking around with the canine team. You'll always have one officer with less lethal, like a 40 millimeter less lethal, or a taser sometimes or whatever. So they have that option. And then you'll have one officer who has the lethal option, a rifle or a gun, and to cover the canine, because the canine has to focus, the officer has to focus on the dog, watching the dog, and they can't be looking ahead of them for threats. So tremendous partnership, as you can see. Our deputies in the St. Paul PD work really closely together, and they're all very well trained, and it helps us to get some knuckleheads off the street and return the lady's Maserati, although I don't know what shape it was in after it crashed, and get back the other stolen Hyundai, and hopefully bring the suspects to justice that were involved in the carjacking. We had the fortune of having a member of the media in our office today talking to us about, what we do and what works and what doesn't work. And the good thing about that is, we could tell them it's the technology and the communication, and knowing who the individuals are that are involved in this type of activity, but also being able to track the stolen vehicles and have the technology to not have to pursue them if we can get GPS on them or get the State Patrol helicopter up and going. And there were also drones that were used for this perimeter. So all that technology helps us do our job safer and more efficiently. So now we're gonna go back into patrol here and see what's next. We'll have a couple deputies tied up, probably with reports and transporting down, but we still have most of the team out being able to work. I didn't really have any good prep at all, not that I usually do, for going live. It was kind of a last minute thing. So I'm not really sure what all vehicles we're looking for, but I guarantee you that there will be some Kias and Hyundais on the list, because there always are. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull over for a second and see if I can look up what's going on. Meanwhile, while we were doing that stuff today, our violent crime enforcement team was looking for a shooter from another incident, and they were able to safely take that shooter into custody, which is always nice. We had been assisting Minneapolis on looking for a specific car that they wanted that was in relation to a serious crime, and that vehicle was located, and we were able to provide them with some information, and they were able to provide us with some information earlier today that hopefully will help solve that case. Another example of communication and technology, just being able to send each other
Feels off the track. Anybody need anything anyway?
information and photos, video to help identify suspects and locate
just those wonderful eyes and ears of yours.
vehicles. So you might have heard Pat
I didn't hear is Minneapolis for them. Or?
Pat Scott's voice on the our channel here,
Over to St. Paul.
and
Tabby.
he had one of the suspects in the back seat of his car.
Sorry I couldn't get to that other deal, Nicole. But the net is tightening.
Absolutely.
Hey, just so everyone's aware, I'm live right now, and I do have the Intel channel on. But if you need me to mute it for something, let me know.
Copy that.
So we on our channel where we names or addresses or talk about juveniles that we don't want to disclose their identities or that information to compromise something we're working on. So I just let them know that I'm live right now, so they can tell me to mute it or turn it down if they're going to talk in private. You know, the beauty of it is we mute it, and probably 5 minutes later you get to see the whole thing. So it's not like we're trying to keep anything from you. We don't want to tip off the bad guys, because we know they watch us, because they comment on our stream sometimes, or they go on social media and talk about us, and it's good that they know we're out here, and hopefully it tamps down some of their activity. It's a busy afternoon at Willard's here.
We located the victim down in the unsheltered community, 7th and Payne. We saw medics up above.
So we are bound on Thomas, approaching Dale Street. And earlier I didn't want to disclose where we were, but now that squads are clearing out of there, we were by Concordia, between Concordia and Marshall, off of Pascal, just east of Pascal, Concordia University, St. Paul. And there's a little industrial area back in there, and that's where we were looking for that additional suspect.
All right, see what's your obligations.
Where are you at right now?
The LEC.
Can you hang there a minute? I'll give you these videos downloaded before I deal with you.
Absolutely.
So a lot of times people, they see the exciting stuff, the arrests and the chases and whatever, but they don't realize that there's a lot of logistical stuff that has to occur afterwards. Everything from taking the time to book in the suspects, at either adult or juvenile, to try to interview them. Sometimes, other times we'll hold them, so that, for example, in this case, because the carjacking is the offense, they will probably forego any interviewing until Minneapolis is able to these young men, and then then you have to do paperwork. You have to do reports to document what you know. You have to up body camera video, or camera video will need to be uploaded as well, although that occurs automatically. Any evidence that you have needs to be documented and then checked into the property and evidence room, and that might require, for example, if it's a firearm, running the serial number of the firearm, see if it's a stolen gun, applying for a e-trace on the gun so that you can trace it back to where it was originally manufactured, purchased, and sometimes it will give you a history of transactions with that gun if it's been sold and documented legally. You have to maintain that evidence for processing, for fingerprints and DNA. That has to be submitted to the BCA. And what else? Then, if you have any paperwork, that has to be uploaded, or photos into the case. And so there's a lot of work that goes in. And then all that stuff has to be presented to generally the county attorney, sometimes a city attorney. But most of what we do is felony level, so it would be go to the county attorney, and they would review it for consideration and charging. And then, of course, you may have to get an authorization to hold someone for the 36 hours or 48 hours, depending on when someone's arrested, to hold them before they see a judge. So there's just a ton of work that goes on that people don't know about. And a lot of times what you don't see is after, we're live, or, any of us, the CAT team's live, they'll spend 2-3 hours doing paperwork. So it's it can be cumbersome, but it's also, we help each other out.
3937.
So we're north on Rice Street now.
2 vehicle accident, McKnight and 11.
People often ask me why we're able to be so successful at combating auto theft and carjacking on this side of the river. There's not as much success, or actually the things are getting worse on the other side of the river. And there's a number of factors. First off, we have the support of the sheriff to do this work. He puts the time and the resources into it. The Department of Commerce has helped fund our efforts, and pay for some overtime and salaries for some of our CAT team members. The county attorneys work very closely with us on the most, where to get the best bang for our buck when it comes to prosecution or consequences. But the main reason we're successful, in my opinion, is not only are we doing the work and we're supported in that work, but it's all about teamwork and coordination and relationships. We have, if you ask any of our guys, hey, who can they call in Woodbury? Who can they call in Eden Prairie? Who can they call in Anoka County when a car gets stolen or suspects identified? They will know who that contact is. They'll have a personal relationship with them. We help them, they help us, and we exchange information extremely close to real time. When a car's stolen, bam, that information's coming out, and it's a team effort. We're gonna go eastbound on Maryland. If a car's stolen in Ramsey County, there's nobody saying, oh, well, eventually it'll turn up. We'll find it parked somewhere. It'll hit on a license plate reader at the mall or something and we'll find it. No, we're actively looking for that car, especially when it's a fresh stolen, because that's when we can get the suspects who stole the car before that car changes hands or gets too damaged. And we use every piece of technology available to us to do that, whether everything from eyes on the street looking in the areas where we know our auto thieves are active, to State Patrol helicopter, to license plate readers, to GPS from the manufacturers, to you name it. We use that technology. If someone came up with better technology tomorrow, we would get that technology. If it helps us to recover vehicles and apprehend suspects more safely.
Someone run Hotel Delta Foxtrot 611. Hotel Delta Foxtrot 611.
So we're still eastbound on Maryland, but I'm going to do a little.
Like John Williams, Irving Ave in Minneapolis.
Isn't that Grandma's car? No. Like Katie used to park there right before they left.
So I'm going to do a quick U-turn here because I heard the sheriff call out that he was checking out a car down here at a nearby address. So we'll swing by just in case.
Good memory. I don't have my kid. Can someone get her Minneapolis address? Because I bet that's going to line up with Ramel's thing.
3200 Irving North.
So I'm going to turn down the radio here for a minute because they're talking about a known suspect, although he's in custody right now. He does have associates that are involved in criminal activity. southbound on Jackson. I saw the vehicle he was watching, but he's not there, so and it looks like the registered owner who's likely driving it. So I'm gonna pull over here. I'm gonna take out so I don't have to be muting you. I'm gonna take this channel off of my scam list. So that we can scan the other channels and not hear what's going on there. All right, there we go. So now I can turn the radio back up.
Can you vote me off from there?
You probably saw the sheriff drive by us. He's out and about right now, helping. One of the things that is different too, I think, for us, and a key to our success is that, you know, the sheriff supporting the troops, and he's not going to ask them to do something that he's not willing to do, and they know that, and I think that garners a lot of respect. Just a reminder too, I can't really watch the comments and drive and do everything at once, but please remember to be nice, be kind to each other. We're all, you know, here interacting on Live on Patrol because it's important work, important stuff for us to all be on the same page about public safety. We may disagree sometimes on how it's done, but let's be kind in our comments to each other. I always have to remind myself to be kind. It's not always easy, especially if you're crabby and having a bad day, but we all have enough stress in our lives for sure without going after each other on a new forum. So we're on the east side of St. Paul. We are at Case and basically by Edgerton, Arkwright area. I'm gonna go north here on Arkwright. Just check some areas where we've recently had stolens. One area it's really slowed down in, so, and we know that one family moved out, but you never know. And another one that's been very hot lately. I think we recovered 3 stolens from that address last week, so Mississippi here and check these apartment buildings where we've had some past history, but nothing really recent related to stolen vehicles. Like all the vehicles that are there are the ones that I see all the time, that residents' vehicles that are not stolen. So you, for any of those who aren't aware, you're riding with Undersheriff Mike Martin. I'm the commander of the Regional Services Division for the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I'm filling in for the CAT team. Guys, there were no gals out there today, but who are tied up right now. I think Nicole's now just coming in.
50 years old, wearing a dark blue hat with an orange brim. Black sweater, cargo shorts, gray pants, gray backpack.
And you are riding in the back seat of my Chevy Tahoe. Actually, you know what? There's nobody with me today, so why don't you hop up front? You can be shotgun. Because you're riding shotgun, you have to be on the stop sticks. If we need stop sticks, you're gonna have to throw them out, and you have to chase the bad guys. If they take off running, I'll follow you in the car. Run the plate on that car that had the windows broken out back there, but looked a little extreme to be a stolen. And sure enough, it's clear. A lot of times if people's windows are broken out because of theft or even hail or whatever, they can't afford to get them fixed, and then we'll see the cars and
183.
They look similar to ones that have been stolen.
Negative. Calling Scott is still in the store. I was only calling originally to let us know. But just be advised that things are going on.
We're still northbound on Mississippi. We're gonna duck in to an apartment complex here. We've recovered several stolens in the past here. It was a lot where the bad guys would empty cars, but I think they caught on to the fact that we knew what was going on, and only takes a few arrests and that behavior ceases, at least temporarily.
8394.
94.
Senior caller at the PD with her son. Both parties are going to be upstairs. Reference a disorderly conduct occurred at Old Highway 8 and 96 involving another student yesterday. 1635.
I think I've run this plate before, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to run it again.
New message. New message.
I'm gonna get out and look at this one quick. I'm not always the brightest bulb on the tree. So it's displaying a license plate that's supposed to be on a 2008 black Mercedes, but that sure looks like an Audi to me. So I'm gonna go up there and take a look at the VIN number. It's an old license plate that should have been destroyed.
With 3-4. Built name creator space. There's people in the background yelling and screaming at the caller. Black female 41. We took out caller clothes. Her name is Charlotte. She's refusing to leave. Suite 317.
Back up here a little bit so I'm not quite so much in the middle of traffic. This other car's in there at an angle, and I am on the VIN number that's actually on this car.
I'm 2383. You just drove by. I'm right at the bus stop here on Ford and Penn. 44, can you put me on this call?
New message. New message.
For each one out.
1638.
So it's not, doesn't appear to be stolen, or it's not coming up as stolen. But
You can mark this Joey with 185, and we can start for that PSC Victoria.
it obviously shouldn't be displaying those plates.
Now there was 185, Grand Victoria, white male, 5'10", gray sweat with a hood, gray sweater with a hood, black pants, walking in and out of traffic.
Come on, my copy.
The weird part is it does have current license plates, so I don't know why.
There's more A cup up.
I'm gonna have to do a little more digging on that one, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna back up because I saw another kind of suspicious looking one here.
message. New message.
So this one, the registration's expired.
Woodland Drive, miles 24.4.
Can you go down with the address?
Alright, I'm gonna do some digging
Woodland Drive.
on that other one, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with the digging. But it's not stolen. Neither one of these two vehicles are stolen. And neither one looks operable, so
8296.
we will have to see what's going on there.
Colors in apartment 107 regarding some license plates that were taken.
Nobody else mail. 3937.
Transporting two juvenile females to the same address as C1. Monitoring analogy 945.
So we're at Westminster and Hoyt. And we're gonna go back southbound and then go over to Arkwright. Oh, I'm starting to get sprinkles on the windshield.
One left of these spots, another coming to Justin Mine and the loop we have those three checking their angles.
There are two juveniles that are attempting to get great copy en route. 3-4 copy.
70, I'll have the 690.
Pull over here for a second. There it is. So we're gonna head over to Jessamine and Duluth, where some juveniles are trying door handles on cars.
Negative is something different.
A lot of times that's the prelude to stealing the car. Alright, hopefully the autofocus is turned off now.
358.
Any other cars for 1600 EOC? Seven Tango.
Please 422 Dorothy Day Place. Adult female looks to be about in her 50s, complaining of dizziness, just breathing, code 4.
Alright. Alright, we are going to go eastbound here on Maryland. Looks like we're coming into a little rain, heavy rain area.
For 1700 EOT. Negative. Thank you. 144. Any other cars for 1700 EOT?
Thank you, 22. Commission Mercury and Sally was going to be westbound Mercury to Maryland, intentionally causing traffic with people due to slow moving. Looks like he pulled into a house, into the house along, and continued towards Snelling from Hamlin.
Copy. 1525 road.
Anyone else for 1700 EOT?
SD285, 21 from Hamlin.
2181, I'll show you there.
So I'm going to look at the original call here, see if anything new has been put in there. Doesn't really look like it.
2372 on the area. The count following.
Negative. He also does not want to be seen at this time. It's like it's just an area check. 1647.
Looking for these juveniles that were trying door handles on cars.
So it's clear advised with 25.
And
I'll take the other vehicle.
there's several other squads that are assigned to this call, St. Paul squads, and 2 of our cars are over in the area. So we'll see. What we can find.
But 270, 272.
5285, call forth.
Copy.
Both make Union Gospel. There's a mail letter that said he was digging in the dirt and found the 5 parts of his girlfriend, and he put them into a white laundromat.
I'm going to be 280 for the rest of the day.
Sorry,
So we're over here in the air. For some reason, my GPS isn't working,
270, then can we start that way?
so I can't. I can see the other cars that are assigned, but I can't see where they are, and they can't see where I am.
New message.
What, 270?
But I just followed my nose and I found them.
Trinity made Union Gospel for a male that was digging in the ground. They found his girlfriend's body parts and they put him in a white basket for you.
I'm gonna hop out here and see if they need anything.
94. 9976.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem. 1650.
Can you put that last call back in pending? 270 is going to be on the detail for a little bit.
Copy.
$270.
270.
You put this call back in pending and shows out on an admin.
The sergeant just told me that. Thanks.
$3937 arrived, 22.9 and closet clear report.
1651. Code 382 Tango 377.
Squad 382 Tango.
377. Mark PIC, more of a domestic or disorderly, 1811 Cottage. Caller would like his friend removed. He is using drugs and acting quote unquote crazy, and he's college concerned for the safety of his children.
Squad 382 Tango, copy.
377 copy. 6. Information request for consular issued by St. Paul to locate an adult, Sherry Nicole Wilson, 1977-425. Black female, 5'8", 150 pounds, brown eyes, black hair. She is currently unhoused. Threats of jumping off a bridge, cutting officers for suicide by cop, has been known to use nearby objects as weapons to provoke police. Information as 253.
One seven one Tango.
171 Tango.
We copy the updates. Send some pending.
Copy. I've got a pending Lexington Marshall for dangerous conditions. Callers advising the vehicle is trying to cause road rage with them since the freeway. It's going to be a red Toyota truck. Minnesota license. Hotel Whiskey Yellow 178. Advised also that the vehicle has a police siren and megaphone and is trying to get people to pull over. Was last seen unknown direction of travel.
Receive. Squad 23.
info from Makewood. Medics are on to the YMCA 2100 White Bear for an 11-year-old male having an asthma attack. And 171 Tango looks like
394, clear report.
Receive.
Copy. 8394, 8295.
94.
8295. On an assist, 1171 Cessna Drive. See your caller across the street in the guest parking lot. She's waiting in a white Subaru Outback. Just recently served her husband's divorce papers and is requesting officers to stand by just to make sure that he's not on scene.
949.
1656.
Is in available squad to assist me in the stolen vehicle. The tow is here right now.
378, can you start that way?
Copy. Exposed. 4483, I copy. White Bear, East. How you doing?
Unaffected experience witness. Suspects are no longer on scene. They do have info and video of the incident.
Yes, sir. How you doing? I copy. Can you keep that pending for me? We'll be on an investigate at Walmart.
Copy.
5025. That'll be with David Frank Yellow 874. Currently in the Panda Express drive-thru as a cops alert for gross misdomestic.
Copy. Drive through Panda Express. The cuff alert on it at 1657.
5 years old, wearing a black hoodie, black sweatpants with white print on the back. There's squad to back.
Let's go white 5-way. 2-4.
Copy. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
You couldn't move back. What?
2364, can I have you check the area on that 911 open line, 1890 to 1999 Lake Valentine Road? People heard talking in the background, voicemail and callbacks.
Copy. Call forward 3.
Well, that was interesting.
8296.
The
Go ahead.
three kids, the officers watched them, and they were pulling on handles of parked cars, trying to steal a car. I'm sure they're all
Copy.
younger juveniles, and none of whom should have been in this area in the first place. The one girl's mom came to get her, which was nice. It was good to see the mom looked appropriately upset with her daughter. The other two, maybe a little less so, but because they didn't actually get entry into a car, and it's difficult for those cases. So we talked to them for a while. Gave them a few life lessons about what they're doing, and hopefully they will turn it around. The one young man that was there with the two young ladies, goes to a school that I'm familiar with some people there, and talked to him, and I think that woke him up a little bit. He's not really sure how I know people at a school that's not around here, and that's good for him. So
5285.
part of the problem is it's 5 o'clock at night. It's probably about 4:30 when they started doing this, and they're not doing anything positive. They're not in sports. They're not in extracurricular activities like band or those type of things. So, you know, when kids are not engaged in positive activities with good adult role models, they tend to get involved in criminal activity and wander around, and they get bored. So if there's one piece of advice I could give the parents, it is keep your kids occupied. Make sure that after school they're doing something. It doesn't have to be sports. It could be band. It could be church stuff. It could be theater. It could be anything where their time's tied up, and it could be a boys and girls club, but where they have good, positive adult role models and their time is occupied. So and I gave the young man a free life lesson that he can use for the whole rest of his life. Absolutely free, which is, if you're gonna tell a lie, at least know the facts that surround your lie, and or make up a new lie. Because if you tell me that you play basketball at a school but you don't know the name of the coach, and I do, then you probably don't really play basketball at that school. So I think he appreciated the piece of advice that we gave him. So I appreciate everybody watching. I'll keep going here for a few more minutes, but then I have to do something where I need to go off of live. But the sad part is we will see those 3 kids again. The one girl, some of the cat guys had interacted with her before, and so unfortunately I think we'll be dealing with her again for sure. I hope we don't with the other 2, but you never know. So we're eastbound on Maryland. We're coming up to White Bear. The radio's kind of slow right now.
Hear an infant screaming in the background and the line disconnected. Hold them on again within 57. 383.
We'll kind of head up towards
5 with 384 and county spot.
we're gonna head north towards the Maplewood Community Center. There was an assault there where it sounds like an adult male punched his son, and the son's now unconscious up there. It's a call for Maplewood PD will handle, but since I'm going up that way anyway, we will keep going, and just to make sure that they're safe until they're code for. So
code is that?
262.
Copy that, thanks.
Morning, Travis.
Morning, sir.
511 144.
Sorry, go again.
Your call is going to be assisted with 511 and 144.
Copy, thank you.
So we're northbound on White Bear. We're just about to leave the city of St. Paul and head into Maplewood. And again, we will just go by the Maplewood Community Center until
Northwest. It's going to be on
their code 4
conscious with difficulty breathing.
with this assault. It sounds like the suspect may have fled. It's always fascinating to me when people have a stereo that's bumping so much that it's rattling their car, and especially when their car doesn't look like it can take too much rattling.
You can show me in the area.
Oh, my friends are out on White Bear here. I gotta give them a little honk. Oh, the kids, they surprised me on a day when I'm not normally here. Oh, except I scared the driver in front of me, which isn't good. Pull in here and see if
5963 Van Dyke for an animal complaint. The elementary school.
They are code 4.
The area caller is waiting on scene.
I'm just gonna quick self-assign myself to this call.
Incident assigned.
And go in and make sure they're good. Pull up over here.
What did he look like? I just passed away with 384. 384. I'm going to put a place. First one's going to be Kilo Foxtrot 8486. Second one is going to be 9 November Mike 040. Copy. Dyke Street, please. 17.
141, clear report.
Copy.
Okay, I have one girl biking away from me.
Squad 533. This is going to be GOA 537. Can you put me on PPV 213 East 4th Street, please?
Affirmative. 91.
270, you can add me to that as well.
Phone call at 1711.
Let's report. We do a call back to the cop and we'll see what they are. 262.
Affirmative. 262.
Is there fire out here in this car? Went through the house and there's a smell of natural gas. Might have had a gas line in the house.
Copy.
Can I be started towards the suspicious 4390 Ryland Lane? It's regarding a vehicle that's a bright red Chevy Tahoe occupied by a white male with a stocking cap on. It states that it's parked at a dead end and finds this odd and is unsure if he's casing the area or not.
23-6, well advised.
Copy.
Give him a call. Yeah, from the other.
Received.
All right, well, we have a good suspect identification. I'm going to drive around the back just to check with them as well, but unfortunately it sounds like this may have been a domestic assault situation, which is never good.
Really?
And
9661.
Affirmative. Let's be a quick. Copy.
What are you code for? All right, I'm gonna go in here with them.
262.
Yeah, can you add Minnesota Kilo Bravo Victor 856 for me?
Affirmative.
286, can you actually pen my call that I just picked up and send me to 262's call?
Affirmative.
All right. Fortunately, very minor injuries with the, or I don't know if minor's the right word, but the victim did not need substantial health care or to be transported. So
367 December 178 040.
alrighty, well, I'm gonna
364.
have to go now to my other obligation, and I appreciate everybody watching,
Copy.
and hopefully you all have a tremendous night. Remember, be kind to each other, and I will see you, if not Friday, Monday. So thank you.